guys, what is up? It is I, James Penrose, back again for my next video and yet another Simpsons episode review for you guys. And this may be the first Treehouse of Horror episode review that I'm ever going to do. Yes, Treehouse of Horror 10 is the episode I'm going to be reviewing today, coming from season 11. And yeah, out of all the episodes I've reviewed, I think this may be the first time I've actually reviewed a Treehouse of Horror, which I don't really understand why that is, why I've done that, but I've waited till now. But here we are once again. So normally how Treehouse of Horror episodes work is, for the most part, it's all separated in 3 stories. Not all jammed into one, it's all 3 separate stories. Then 1, 2, then 3, and then the show ends. So the first story is entitled, I Know What You Diddly Did. And it all starts with the Simpsons. They're on a night drive after escaping from some vampires, which I actually would have liked to see that bit, how they escaped from the vampires. But nevertheless, they did it. And, you know, Homer's eating this Sugar Crisp cereal, can't get enough of the Sugar Crisp. And Marge is like, oh, well, you know what? I'm having a hard time seeing. Homer, did you remember to put the fog lights in? Yes, I forgot to put the fog lights in. And Marge is like, well, you know what? I better pull over, just play it safe. And as she does that, BAM! Runs over what she thought was a dog and was actually hoping would be a dog, which, why would you want to hope it run over a dog? But anyway, she opens the car doors, goes out and reveals it's none other than Ned Flanders. And they're all shocked and what the hell. And Bart's like, well, no, we didn't kill Ned Flanders, you killed Ned Flanders. And Marge is seriously going, no, it was an accident, I didn't mean to do that. And Homer's, you know, well, you know what, I got an idea. And obviously the plan is, you know, to make sure that Maud doesn't worry and hopes that she thinks that Ned isn't dead, and, you know, he's still alive. So Homer's actually talking to Ned as he's dead, saying, well, just make sure that no one knows you're dead, especially your wife. So the next day comes and Homer's on the roof with Ned on there, and he's pretending to be Ned. He's having this voice and he's doing a terrible job. How Maud didn't really notice that, even though you could see right in front of you that he is dead. How you didn't notice, I have no idea. And Homer's trying to, you know, make it up that it was an accident. You know, he fell off the rooftop, which Maud's missed it as he fell off as Homer pushed Ned off the roof. And then that's when, you know, Homer goes with Ned into the house and he's like, oh, I think I'm having a heart attack. Throws him down onto the ground, shuts the door. And then that's when Maud finally realises, hears the screams, and then Homer's like, well, that's the end of that chapter. Which, again, if you know what episode that's off, where Homer says that, then we can be friends. But, so yeah, that's where she finally finds out. And then that's when the funeral happens and Homer is just a couple of times is on the verge of throwing Marge right down in the dumps, where, you know, he's up to the podium making the speech about Ned, and one of them was, well, I can't help but remember the look on Ned's face when Marge was like, shush, 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 shush. And that's when, you know, they leave completely unsuspected. No one suspects a thing somehow, even though Homer a couple of times pretty much almost confessed that Marge was the one that ran his ass over. So then you hit the part where Homer is trying to run over Milhouse, you know, for whatever reason. And that's when, you know, they get home and then all of a sudden they see a note on the door. It's written in blood entitled, I Know What You Did. And they look behind them and then all of a sudden they see pretty much most of Springfield giving them the evil looks. And then Homer is pointing at Marge, again pretty much confessing, yeah, you're the one that did this, not us. And so then you hit the nighttime part. It's raining and everything. They're all sat in the dark and all of a sudden the phone rings. And Homer is hesitant, eventually goes and yellow, who is this? And in a dark voice says, I know you're alone. And Homer's like, well, who the hell is this? And the guy's like, is this Maud Flanders? And I'm like, he's like, no, it's Homer. And then it reveals it was fucking Moe, of all people. That's how you know Moe is a freak of the stalker. And Moe was like, oh, I must have dialed the wrong number. I mean, Jesus Christ. But then all of a sudden, as soon as that call ends, boom! Lightning strikes, and there's loads of notes all across the house saying the same thing. I know what you did, or what was it diddly did. Either way, the Simpson family completely shits themselves. They try to hightail it out of the house. They go into the car, but that's all filled also with notes. I know what you diddly did. So they try and hightail it. As beforehand, just before they left, they saw a black figure with, you know, black attire, hat and everything, almost dressed like the Undertaker in a sense, and tries to, you know, go after them. That's really why they hightail it. So they go off in the car and Homer's praying in the car, dear God, it's Homer. If you love me, you'll save our lives now. And then, you know, as luck would have it, runs out of gas, the car stops, and then that's when the guy with the black attire comes closer and closer, and then Homer's like, all right, Lisa, go Pet Cemetery, Bart, Spooky Disco, because they're trying to find hiding places, and then looks behind him. Okay, Flanders, I want you to... And then that's when he sees Ned Flanders is alive, believe it or not. They totally shit themselves. And Ned is then trying to explain, you know, that night when you hit me with the car, and then it shows a flashback to that night where Ned was, ironically enough, on a power walk, as he tends to do most of those nights. And he hears a werewolf howling, and he's like, better pick up the pace. And as he does that, boom, gets attacked by a wolf. And this wolf is now covered in Ned Flanders' clothing, and he sees the Simpsons family car coming over, and then that's when he gets run over, and then you see the werewolf transition back into Ned Flanders' normal face. And then that's where it finally dawns on Lisa, oh, so you were going to kill us now? And then that's when Ned Flanders, the moon, you can see the moon, it goes, and then that's when Ned Flanders goes into that werewolf state mode, and that's where the kids and Marge, they hightail it, but Homer doesn't realise it. He's like, Marge, did you hear me sing Werewolf? And they hightail it, and, you know, the werewolf he goes straight up to Homer, and eventually it eats him to an oblivion, basically, and that's how the first part ends right there. And we've still got 2 more to go. The next one, Desperately Seeking Xena, and this is the one where you ended up having, you know, all the kids for Halloween, dressed up at Halloween at the elementary school, and, you know, they're putting the loads of candy into this machine, and as Nelson's trying to do that, it's failing miserably. He's put too much in there, he's trying to punch it in, and he eventually does it, but ends up freaking corrupting and, you know, malfunctioning the machine to the point where everyone has to duck and cover, but Bart is like, oh, this looks pretty cool, and then Bart and Lisa, bam, gets it, and Lisa gets it the worst, as she goes right into this massive board, and it comes crashing down on her, and everyone's like, that's it, she's been crushed, done, it's finito. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Lisa just lifts it all up and shoves it right up through the ceiling, gets a massive hole in there, and yeah, it turns out those X-rays, they've given her those ultimate muscles, just like I've got right here. Nah, I'm good. But anyway, and then Bart's like, well, if that's giving you powers, then surely I must have got something from that. And lo and behold, he did. And the powers is that he can stretch, and he can just about reach to anything and anyone that he wants. He's messing around with Principal Skinner, you know, knocking on the door, slapping him across the face. You know, Lisa's is spinning Principal Skinner, a fucking Chief Clancy Wiggum all over his finger like he's a fucking basketball. And that's when they revealed that their names are Stretch Dude and Clobber Girl, which is honestly a beautiful name. That song, Stretch Dude, Clobber Girl, that is a banger of a song. And by the way, the songs again in The Simpsons, man, like even just those little tiny songs to long songs, some of them are actually pretty damn good bangers, you know, even though they might not be the greatest songs of all time, they do have an impact, whether it's, you know, serious or if it's just for a laugh. So that's when you hit the part of Xena is at a press conference, and obviously because she's an actor, and then all of a sudden the glass ceiling shatters, and it's the comic book guy who's the collector, and he's like, I'm here to add you to my collection, and then, you know, gets Xena up on this freaking board thing that's, you know, a freaking magnet or some kind, and you know what, Xena's like, the only way to get out of this is to remove my breastplate, but oh no, you've got a bunch of pervs below you. Don't think that's a good idea. So she's completely stuck in there. She's been like stuck in this pouch thing that's against the wall with a bunch of other celebrities, and then that's when Stretch Dude and Clobber Girl, they come in to save the day, only to realise that comic book guy has got this gun. I can't remember what it was called, some sort of laser gun or whatever. It hits Lisa, and then Bart goes to try and defend it, and defends it a number of times before, you know, the gun, it runs out of ammo, and then all of a sudden comic book guy throws it, but Bart somehow wasn't able to dodge that one, gets knocked clean out to the skull, and then it hits the part where they're both tied up, and they're both going to be like incarcerated in Lucite, which is going to completely kill them. And this is the smart thinking of Xena, because, you know, comic book guys like, well, here's some names you can call us on our wedding, because he's planning on choosing her to want to be wedded. And Xena's like, oh, well, you know what, maybe you and me, we are meant for each other. You know, after, you know, I got bullied in school and all the other kids, you know, I didn't really gel. You could just be the one that, you know, could share my pain and all that. And comic book guys, he's delirious in the head, he's totally falling for it, and as he's about to go in for the kiss, that's when all of a sudden, bam, the right hands go in, gets knocked off the balcony, and he's getting his ass completely handed to him, and that's when, you know, comic book guy ends up getting a lightsaber, a double-end lightsaber from Star Wars, and then Xena's like, oh, you idiot, you removed it from the actual original packaging, and comic book guy takes this too seriously, and it's like, it's no longer a collectible, and then falls off another balcony, and then he's the one that ended up incarcerated in Lucite, and then Stretched and Clobber Girl are rescued by Xena, and they fly off into the sunset, and that's how the second part ends right now. Now, the third part, now this one is the most, you know, the one that ties into real life a little bit, and the one that, you know, many suspected would have happened for real. Obviously it didn't, like, obviously not, but, you know, the third one, entitled Life's a Glitch, Then You Die, obviously basically going into the millennium, you know, it's about to hit 2000, it's 1999, December 31st, and they're watching all the New Year's celebrations on the TV, the Springfield, everyone, they're at the Simpsons family, you know, they've invited the whole family down, the friends, everyone, they're watching it on the TV, and Lisa's like, by the way, Homer, you were in charge of, you know, stopping stopping the Y2K shit from corrupting, right? You fixed all that shit, right? And Homer's like, yeah, of course I did, it's good. And you know what? Lisa's like, well, you know what? You're better off, because even the slightest little malfunction could cause this whole thing to go downhill and cause the whole Armageddon. And Homer's like, well, come on now. Surely I'd be terrified if that were to happen. So then the clock's going down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the guys in the control go to push the button for it to be official. And all of a sudden, huge, massive error. And then that's when the guys were like, oh my god, that's Homer Simpson's computer, and it's, you know, it's totally spreading, and then it's supposed to say 2000 for, you know, the new year, and instead it says 1900, and then that's the moment where everyone's confused, but then it hits them, oh shit, we're all about to fucking die here. So everyone goes completely on the tear, things are going down, the freaking aeroplanes are falling, collapsing to the ground, things are smashed, things are set on fire, it's total carnage and chaos. The Simpsons family, you know, milk cartons are coming out of different ends, you know, freaking toasters and shit are moving all by themselves, aeroplanes, like, you name it, it's going down. Name one thing, it happened. So then you hit the part where they're at the church and Reverend Lovejoy is, you know, pretty much saying, you know, I warned you this day would come, I told you this would happen, but it's not too late to repent your sins. And then Chief Wiggum comes in, you know, everyone's raiding them all, get your stuff now, so that everyone goes, raids all the shops possible, gets all the supplies they can get. And so then the Simpsons family, they're wandering the streets, they're pondering how this has even happened in the first place. And that's when all of a sudden, well, you see Krusty, first of all, has another freaking heart attack or whatever with his pacemaker, because for those that know, Krusty has a pacemaker because of heart attacks and stuff like that. He collapses to the ground, but there was a note that Krusty was carrying saying that they're going to be evacuating the Earth with rockets that they're going to be launching into space that's going to take them to Mars. And so then it hits the part where they see the rocket in red, white and blue, the true American colours, and Lisa goes up to the security guy, and the guy knows Lisa, and he's like, well, you know what, before you enter, you're gonna have to make a tough choice here. You're only allowed to take one of your parents with you. And straight away she's like, Mum, like, just straight away, no arguments about it, I'm taking Mum, fuck me dad, is basically what she said. And then that's where they go off into space, they go off to Mars, and Bart and Homer are kind of just left there thinking, well, this is it, this is how our lives are going to end, of all ways our lives to come to an end, this is it. And then all of a sudden Bart notices, oh, there's another spaceship out there, and nobody is guarding it, and they just decide to hop right on because they think that's going to be also the right ship to go to the right place for evacuation, and that they're going to be safe. Boy was they wrong, because if you noticed on the right, you know, the right ship and the right rocket that they were going in, the Lisa and Marge, all the celebrities, you know, there were Bill Gates, Stephen Hawking, the best of the best celebrities were on there. And in Homer and Bart's, let's just say when you've got Rosie O'Donnell and, you know, Courtney Love, and, you know, that's when Homer kind of suspected, all right, what the fuck is going on here? And then Bart looks outside and then realises, hold on, that ship is going to Mars. Ours is, it's heading for the sun. It's heading for the sun. And then that's when, you know, Darren Marble goes to Homer. Yeah, we're all going to be burnt to smithereens. We're going to blow up. We're going to die. And he's just oblivious. He doesn't get... It's like he's one of those guys that just wanted to be killed from all this. And that's when you see Rosie O'Donnell singing, you know, clang, clang, clang with the trolley. And everyone's singing it. And Homer is literally like, get me out of this motherfucker right now. And as Bart's like, do you know what? Just don't worry. We'll be dead in 5 minutes. Homer's like, not fast enough. Press the eject button. Boom! They go out of the rocket. And then that's when the inevitable happens. The heads go bigger and bigger and bigger, and bam, they blow up, and that's when it ends right there. I mean, to think you're on the wrong bloody ship, the wrong freaking rocket, is just mad how they managed that. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just let them all on, but nevertheless, it was another chaotic Treehouse of Horror, man, with twists and turns, left, right, and centre, insane moments, funny moments, and more is to come over the next few weeks. More Treehouse of Horror episodes, I believe I'm planning on reviewing as well. And this one is probably, I think, maybe one of the first I ever watched. I think the one beforehand, Treehouse of Horror 9, was the first I ever watched. Because, you know, they released the classics DVDs and they would choose episodes kind of at random, like 4 of them. And one of those was a Treehouse of Horror, so that might have been it. But nevertheless, guys, this was still an awesome episode, and make sure you go check out when you can. So other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching this episode review. Make sure you guys like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to my channel. And all I can say is, peace out, my brothers!